to the series exploring the foundational reasons and justifications behind the Unitary Republic. First and foremost is the moral and ethical purposes, for this entire idea has been formed from an ethical foundation. The practicalities have grown around that original pure purpose. A unitary republic would abolish national borders, replacing existing global anarchy with a single democratic state representing all of mankind. Thomas Paine said in his seminal work Rights of Man, "Independence is my happiness, and I view things as they are. Without regard to place or person, my country is the world, and my religion is to do good." I believe he's not alone in this view. But what does it mean to support the dissolution of borders and state boundaries? The very thing that defines who wins and who loses. Who is born with hope and who is born with none, who is subjected to the will of whom and who will be indebted to and impoverished by whom. A child born in Greece is now inheriting the fiscal and reputational burden of their predecessor. A child in Germany, meanwhile, is inheriting a powerful position within an economically dominant state. Palestinian children born near the borders with Israel inherit a very uncertain life, fraught with danger of being killed by Israeli forces or simply being unlawfully evicted by the ever-expanding settlements. A child born in India or Pakistan inherits a military standoff with potentially nuclear implications based on conflicts millennia old they have nothing to do with until they're told that they do. A child born in El Salvador, Sierra Leone, Darfur, or any of the other war-torn nations inherit a life of despair, surrounded by crime and desperation. In a unitary republic, these national names will become meaningless. The central, global, federalist state will release people from these pre-existing burdens. The chances and rights of a person born anywhere on Earth will be equitable. No one will be born with group debts, there will be no perpetual turmoil, and outside of family wealth there will be no inherent advantages. The same minimum wage, the same federal institutions, the same taxes, the same economy, education system, and everything else. This kind of pan-species institutionalism will bring so many of the world's biggest epidemic issues under control. The widely acclaimed book Why Nations Fail details the causes of instability and lack of growth in a developing world. James A. Robinson and Darren Acemoglu posit the reason is not a lack of food or a lack of aid, but institutional instability. But these institutions are extremely convenient for so many powerful and wealthy nations. They keep the developing world from being true competition and keeps the reins of power and market domination securely in the hands of the West. If we want to fix these global epidemics such as poverty and hunger, we need to enable true development, the kind that doesn't pose a danger but a boon to the developed world. It's through the sharing of common institutions and economic hybridization that we can achieve that. If we're willing to sacrifice in the short term through whatever economic and political instability we encounter, despite our best efforts to control their impact, we'll be rewarded with a world we've scarcely been able to dream of in its simplicity, efficiency, and equality. Bertrand Russell, world-renowned historian and philosopher, said, "Do not fear to be eccentric in opinion, for every opinion now accepted was once eccentric." The same goes for the difficult concepts of unitary republicanism. Every human being on Earth deserves the kind of opportunity for themselves and their children. To be free of the fear, burden, and danger of our state-structured world. To that end, that is the moral purpose and foundation of the Unitary Republic. It says nothing for the ethical responsibility of leaders to make our species as efficient and productive as possible with regards to scientific development either, which is a central tenet of the Unitary Republic. The day may come in future millennia when we are so advanced that we do not need a state at all. But today, tomorrow, and for the foreseeable future, this is what we need to do for our species. So if you no longer see the value of nations, and instead wish for a united world free of such artificial distinction and all of its myriad horrors, then you too are a unitary republican. As I believe, as Thomas Jefferson did, that the equal rights of man and the happiness of every individual are now acknowledged to be the only legitimate objects of government. Except government has now grown beyond individual states. We live in a globalized world of transnational politics, so we need to change the system to accommodate that unavoidable reality.